oh, you wouldn't understand because it's pretty complicated stuff, or uh, Google is very particular about like their search engine, and no one knows how it works or anything. So there's this kind of this mystery around it. And since we have like dove in and really started looking at what helps SEO, I will say the one thing that is no longer, that used to be really effective, was like linking, where if you provided links to like the more links you had on your website, there were people that were linking to your website, it kind of gave your website greater authority. So this was like one of the first things that Google did, was they came up with a system to look at how many times other websites were linking to you. And so that was one of the early things that these SEO people were like hacking. They were creating websites, hundreds of websites that would link to these other websites to try and give them a boost. And then Google over time has constantly like tried to suppress unfair advantages that people have. And that's like Google's number one goal. They don't care about the business. They just want to provide the best results for the customer. So Google is going to constantly try to take away any advantage that some business has found out about, like, ooh, if we put this word on your website, or if we submit your website to these business directories, or if we do this or try this, like we can trick Google. Is like, that's how I feel a lot of the SEO people think. And then they're selling these packages on, we'll submit or we'll do this maintenance, which is like something anytime, and you can guarantee anytime they have some sort of ongoing system that you're paying for, it's automated. And when you try to automate SEO, that's what Google is going to try to find a way to like suppress, if that makes sense. Because again, all that Google cares about is when, and the reason that they're the number one search engine is when a consumer goes to Google and says, my tooth hurts, or whatever they search, Google is investing a ton of resources and energy in trying to come up with a system to present the most relevant result to that person. And that's why location is important and all that stuff. And so my big thing with SEO now is the best way to win with SEO is to not, you can't try to automate it, because when you try to automate it, it might work for a while, but it makes sense that anything that is automated, Google will eventually find out about, and they will try to suppress, because automation is not good for patient interaction, you know, and that's who they care about. So the way that you win is by actually having a good, useful, relevant, updated semi-frequently, and lots of like good original content that Google will show to users. And then how the users are interacting with that information also impacts where your place will go. So as you get great, like your bounce rate goes down, that tells Google that, you know, people that are going to this website are not leaving the website, so they're obviously getting what they want, so we'll send more people there. But if you have a website that's not, you know, lining up with the results that Google can see on analytics, then you may start seeing your website go down. So, again, when you talk to them, I would say, I mean, I feel like the position that I from my read on this whole situation is, you're kind of in a difficult spot, because the doctors want things to change, and they're giving you some room to work, and you've got a lot of questions to dig up because they want answers. And I don't know how much more they can tell you about what they're doing for you, if anything. Because I don't, but I think you should try and find out for sure, because I'd like to know as well. But I think in the end, ouch. Oh yeah, it's really bad. It's almost, and you're in Salem right now too, right? Yeah, that's even worse. That your local search is always going to be more. It'll pull more relevant content, which is why it's not going to show you like an oral surgeon in Florida because that doesn't make sense. It's going to try to find something that's nearby that you would want to contact. But I saw in another email that you sent me, you said the doctors have decided they don't want a new website. Can you explain that a little more, or where that came up in conversation and what they mean by that? Because I think. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I can tell you. The thing is that, and this it's just kind of it's a decision you have to decide on. I don't know which direction you want to like what you want to invest in, but I mean it's common sense that a large company is going to do, like, even this email that you're getting. um I'm trying to remember, and I think I was trying to look it up really quick. I think it's called WordStream, but I would almost bet you that what they have here, this report that you get, is automated. So it's written and customized ish to you guys, but it's this thing that sends out, and there's some links on, like, here's how you can improve stuff. But then they tell you, contact us, contact your account rep to schedule a meeting with your SEO analyst. And there's all this automation stuff that's just blaring in this email. And this is where I would say, because that's what there's, and I don't know if it's actually called WordStream, but I have seen there are programs that integrate with Google Analytics. They look at your data, and the program automatically compares it to past months and whatnot, and then it will write like original sentences that say, like, take your data and put it in. It's like the same technology that the New York Times uses for writing the columns on sports and stuff, because they've developed computers that know that if you have a like thousands of oral surgery clients and they're all looking at data, those reports are all going to look somewhat similar with what's said. And then they just try and automate it and then put the ball back in your court to say, we're here to help, just let us know what you want to do. But there's no one actually looking at it until you say, hey, I have some questions, and then they provide the best service in the world, or potentially, to answer any questions that you have. So and I guess that's the thing, is everything that you see here, it's all true. Like it's like, yep, they're not telling you stuff that's not correct. It just looks to me like nothing's happening. Like, not, they're saying, here's 5 ways to convert new patients. Like, oh, very interesting. Are you guys doing that? No, but this is what you guys could do if you want. Or you could pay us a higher price and we'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. Right. Do you know, this is kind of well, go ahead. You don't know what? Right. Well, I mean, obviously we could, it's kind of like, I mean, technically you could have us work with PBHS on your behalf, but that just doesn't, it's like the my whole thing, and it's just interesting when the direct question that I'm curious on is, why would you not, and maybe you have an answer personally and maybe they have a different answer, but why would we not start working together next month, like SkEye and you guys? What are the specific reasons that it doesn't make sense? Right. Right. Yeah, it'll work. You'll definitely see like a change in your traffic, but it's not a long-term solution. For you guys want to be at the top of Google, you don't want more patients in August. And do you think, because this is just what I know, and like, if there has to be something else other than cost for on their end, because my whole thing is just, I from what I'm seeing, everything that you're talking about, it's like you just say the word, tell us when you want to start, and we could change all of this, and it would be, we'd be off and running. You guys can focus on what you need to be focusing on. The doctors can stop sweating about it, and we'll be, like when we have our monthly meetings with people, it's like showing you actual numbers and then sitting down and saying, so this is what we want to focus on this month, because you can see here in the data, like we noticed this and this. So by changing these things, this is what we anticipate is going to happen, and here's what we're going to do. But the thing that's different about us than a larger company is, we sit down and find out that the goal, like what I care about when I start working with someone, is what do I need to do so that in 12 months from now you guys are like, this is the best decision we've ever made. What's going to make you happy so that you're excited about working with us? Not like, oh, you guys want a new website? Well, here's 3 of our packages to choose from, and it's a monthly retainer, and you guys can stay with us as long as you'd like. Like that's not a we're not even if we were at the level where we could do that. I don't know if I would ever want to be a part of a business that is like that. But it's it's so far down the road for us that all I care about is these individual cases where we can come up with the challenge and then get the gratification out of completing the challenge. And all that you guys need to know is that the goal for us is to get you on the first page or on the top results for the specific things that you want to be known for, whether that's implants or wisdom teeth or just oral surgery or whatever it is. And that's not very hard. It takes a little while, but it's not rocket science. It just is actual work. It's like we have to make the website and the content original and give the patients what they're looking for, and Google will do the rest. They'll make sure that I'm making it sound a little bit trivial. There's a lot of specific things that I can hone in on and change, but at the end of the day, the easiest way to think about it is if you want to rank well, like do all of the things that Google is looking at to tell whether or not you're going to be a good result for what the patient's searching. And there's only so many things a robot can do to figure that out. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Absolutely. Well, the what I guess the question I want to ask you, because I feel like you know me fairly well at this point, but from just a sales perspective, I just really I don't think that the cost is the problem. Like I don't know what me submitting a paper that says, okay, how about this number? Okay, how about this number? Like that's not the problem right now. Right now, like where my thought is, and I don't mean this in like a mean way, like I would love to start working with you guys, but I have to have like we are bought in and I have conversations on a regular basis with the owners and the oral surgeons of the practices that we work with. And if there's not even an interest before they're paying us to even have a 10-minute conversation, it's a red flag for me that they're so busy they don't even want to know what's going on. Not that that's the case, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, and to be nice or give credit to them, I completely side with them that they're bombarded constantly with, you know, someone trying to sell this widget or that widget or this thing and whatnot, and you have to have some sort of barrier. But what I really want is to just sit down and say, like, where are you trying to get to, and what does success look like? And then the way that I operate, and this is why, it was one of the bigger mistakes I made in talking with you guys, is that the price, it doesn't even matter what number I throw out at the beginning, because that doesn't matter. My goal is to find out where they're trying to get and what the value is of what they're trying to get, and then it needs to make good business sense, as like you spend money to make money. And we can't guarantee anything, but the better that we can do at estimating, this is what you're trying to do and this is what we expect the ROI of that to be. And so we want to stay, as our business, we want to stay low enough on the expense side so that the return on whatever investment that they're making still makes sense, because it doesn't do us any good if we come out way ahead and you guys break even. So I don't want to come up with a package before I know, because just like the other companies you're talking to, we could do everything. I personally would recommend, and I mean, unless this would be another thing that could be discussed in a meeting, I believe that outsourcing social media is one of the most difficult, expensive, and inefficient things that a company can do in today's world, just because it's very, very hard for someone that is not in the office to create social content that people are actually looking for nowadays. There are so many businesses that have created little programs and widgets that, again, the automation thing is huge, and it's something that all businesses are looking for because it saves on man hours. But as soon as you start automating something like social media and you take out the social part of it, where there's actually like conversation happening, in my opinion, it might be better than not having it, maybe. But I even say that is potentially a good argument to have. But what we suggest, and this is something that I have evolved an opinion on in the last 12 months, I really want to find someone in the office of the clients we're working with that we can like coach and work with, and we can handle the boosting or the paid ad side of the social content, but the social media has to come internally. And we're not talking about like rocket science. It's like, don't overthink it. It's like, did you guys go out for like a team dinner, or is there a birthday in the office? It's like, that's the type of content that we can't do. I mean, we could, but it ends up being a lot of work anyways. And so that's something that I would always recommend you guys just do, and we'll be more than happy to provide ideas and like tools to make it easier and more efficient. But and honestly, potentially one thing, and this would be another fun thing to try with you guys. The best, in like a very decent strategy, I think, would be find a recent graduate that's 22 years old, or maybe someone that is going to community college in the area that wants to do social media, pay them minimum wage, and have them come in, and they will blow your social media like out of the water compared to what you could pay a professional company to do. Right. And that's why, again, it's the thing is like the I'm young, but I already know my younger brother who's in college. Like he's dating me very, very fast, and he's always coming back and talking about these new things that they're doing. And it's like, I felt like I was way more in the know than you're telling me that I am, Joe. But it's crazy how fast you get old in the social media world. And even like you can't really compete with the high school. You're never going to be able to keep up with the high school kids. And if you could find like a smart high school kid to do it for you, it might be the best. It's challenging though. It's a game to play. But that's my belief on social media. I think that there's certain very, very specific aspects that involve like the ad side of Facebook or something that you might want a little more experience in. But the rest of it, you could basically, sit down with someone for an hour like brand new right out of school and say, here's some tools and some tips for social media. Now go have at it and get a lot of people to engage with this, and that's going to be a far better result than trying to pay anyone else to do it. But what do you think? This is what I'm thinking right now. I understand that they're busy, but what I'm contemplating, I create, and as of July, I think it was maybe it's shortly after meeting you guys and talking with you, we have moved, and me personally, we've divvied up different tasks in our company. So I have been creating just an incredible amount of content and pushing out videos consistently, and using that as ways to do pitches and introductions and whatnot. But what I'm thinking is that I want to make a short little video and send you over the link that you could share with the doctors, that basically would just be, explaining a little bit more why I think we should chat in person about this. Because my feeling is I don't want to waste, it's not my time, honestly. I waste so much of my own time having conversations like this because I love it. But I don't want to waste your time or their time anymore, like talking about the hypothetical. It's like, in business, we're going to take chances. We're going to make mistakes. You have to do something. You have to act. And if you're frozen because you're analyzing too much, how long are you going to sit in that state of analysis before you decide we just need to try something? And it's like, let's think about this. What's the worst case scenario that's going to happen if you sit and do nothing, or stay with a company that you've been with, or you try out this new crazy company with the guy that won't stop calling you because what happens 6 months from now? And worst case scenario, it's you at least have a better looking website. But best case scenario, you've accomplished everything that you set out to accomplish, which is what I anticipate would happen. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. For the eclipse. The huge influx of people. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't have 3 hours to talk to him? Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Kim. I will hopefully have something over by the end of the day today, and then I am out of the office. Well, I don't have too much of a choice. I'm going to a wedding, leaving tomorrow, and I get back after the eclipse. So we will be chatting, hopefully on Wednesday next week. All right. Thanks, Kim. We'll talk to you later. Bye.